Uh, Hello. My name is Richard Lee Bruce, and this is channel Rich Lee Bruce. And I want to tell you perhaps my most terrifying story today. Uh, I used to teach at St. John's University in the economics department, and the most distinguished member of that economics department was Vladimir Šimanek, uh, a Czechoslovakian. He was a Moravian, called himself a castle Czech. And he told me about when he was a high official within the Czech government. And this was after Brezhnev took power, which was in the early 60s and before he took before the Prague Spring in 1968 when he had to flee Czechoslovakia. So he was a member of a high official in the Czech government and therefore was present at various state dinners at the Kremlin. And at one of these state dinners, he witnessed Leonid Brezhnev, the leader of the Soviet Union, get so drunk that he tried to start World War III. As it was explained to me, at these dinners, there was a long line of very small glasses, each filled with vodka, put in front of everybody. And each person had to make a toast to the glories of socialism and communism. And then everybody had to drink one of these very small glasses, much less than a shot glass. But by the time you drank all of them, you're going to be very drunk. Leonid Brezhnev came and he was already somewhat drunk. And then he started in this whole process, became very drunk. And then he rose up from the table shouting, I'll show him, and tried to leave the room. The other leaders of the Soviet Union jumped up from the table, grabbed him before he could leave the room, and wrestled him to the floor and held him there. The member of the Czech delegation was apparently very brave, went over and asked him, what does he want? And one of the Russian officials said, he wants to start the war. But they held him. This, of course, illustrates the dangers of excessive drink and nuclear weapons. Let's give a positive shout out to our Muslim brothers that they don't drink. Maybe they are safer as far as nuclear weapons than we are for that reason. But at any rate, there, of course, are stories that Richard Nixon also had problems along these lines. Story is that he ordered a nuclear strike against North Korea, but Henry Kissinger phoned up the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and said, well, let's wait till morning until he sobers up and see what he wants then. And the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff said, no, that sounds like a good idea. And so I don't know what he actually said, but something like that. At any rate, they did wait till he sobered up. And after he sobered up, he no longer wanted to launch a nuclear strike on North Korea. So this has been a problem and may illustrate for people who are wondering why we are involved. We're sending weapons to Ukraine. Our concept, our worry is we really would like to keep nuclear weapons in as few hands as possible. And one of the major reasons why we want to prevent nuclear proliferation and spread of nuclear weapons to many other countries is because we are worried about what people are going to do when they get drunk. The leaders are going to do when they get drunk. There are over 100 countries in the world that are richer than North Korea. North Korea, and that means total economic output. North Korea was able to build nuclear weapons, so presumably those countries could too. Instead of having 9 countries with nuclear weapons, we possibly could have 90 countries with nuclear weapons, and that would considerably increase our danger. So the United States does not help other countries defend themselves through our alliance system just because those countries cannot defend themselves, but in fact, because they can defend themselves by building nuclear weapons, we just don't want them to build the nuclear weapons. So maybe that clarifies a few things. Okay, by the way, this was reported to me by a member of the Czech delegation, Vladimir Šimunek. He was a distinguished professor at Kent State and St. John's University, where I was teaching as a college instructor in the economics department. He was the most distinguished professor in the economics department at St. John's University. That's in Queens, New York City. And so he's quite a good source for this. And so that was the story. Well, okay, I guess that's it. I hope you can sleep tonight. But at any rate, may clarify some things for you. This is Richard Lee Bruce, and the channel is Rich Lee Bruce on YouTube, and my website is richleebruce.com. And you can find me on Reddit at Rich Lee Bruce. Everything on the internet that says Rich Lee Bruce is mine. Leave some comments and so on and so forth. Let's get a discussion going. Bye.